Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. And today we're going to be playing the Final Fantasy Play Booster Arena Direct, our chance to potentially win some Play Booster boxes of Final Fantasy by playing Best of One sealed of the format on Arena. Very cool series of events, but they are very high risk, very high reward. It is about $40 worth of gems to enter, and we're playing the most random high variance format in Magic history. Well, maybe we're not playing Momir, but best of one sealed. You gotta cross your fingers. You open some great cards and dodge some great stuff from your opponents. We only have 2 losses of breathing room in best of one rounds. That means if we have mana issues in 2 games, no matter how good our deck is, no matter how well we play, we're out of the event. A whole ton can go wrong here. So high variance stuff, but cool prizes if we can get some wins. So let's cross our fingers here, bust open these packs, and see what we get to play with today. Well, we have one rare, Esper Origins, 2 mana Surveil 2, gain 2, and then 4 mana Flashback, get a 4/4 draw a card. That is pretty spectacular. So, one rare, not that bad. Not that bad of a way to start it. Let's check out what we've got in our colorless and multicolored. We have no town map or blitz balls for colorless fixing. We have 2 Crossroads villages, though. We've got 1 Rabanastra for red-white fixing, 1 blue-red fixer, and 1 black-white fixer. So not that many duels either. Any signpost and commons leading us in a certain direction. If we've got a ton of equipment, we could go Boros equipment with Giots. And if we just have a bunch of good aggressive black and red cards, we've got a Garland and a Black Waltz there in Rakdos, which is cool. We have an okay filler uncommon of Ultima here in terms of that card's card quality. Genji Glove is not playable. Grimoire is not playable. Triple Triad is not playable. Minwu is not playable. Matoya is not playable. Technically, if you are somehow the most lucky sealed pool opener in the universe and you open up like 6+ Scry and Surveil cards, Matoya could be okay, but that never happens. Or honestly, even if I had like 4 clerics, I wouldn't play Minwu. 5 mana, 3/3, doesn't do anything until you gain life. It's just way too small of a stat line for the cost, too easy to interact with before it does anything. So yeah, I mean, we opened a 1 rare sealed pool. I'm not gonna mention the other rares anymore from that point on. We have average white in the sealed pool. There's a Fate of the Suncrest that can blow up anything. A couple Slash of Lights if we have a secondary color with a lot of job select equipment, but as it stands in white alone, we don't have a particularly high creature count for making this consistent at all. And none of them being job select equipment that give us an equipment and a creature at the same time really hinders the power of that as well. Good combat trick though, 1 good removal spell, some okay creatures. Very mid. Whites. Looking at the blue, there are 2 cards that surveil, I guess 3 total. Still not enough for Matoya. The Sahagins play well with Dreams of Laguna and Retrieve the Esper, so that's pretty cool. I like the Wyvern a lot. We have okay top-end creatures, some good card draw with Combat Tutorial. Thief Snipe's good if you have a bunch of unblockable and flying stuff. We have a tiny bit. Sometimes the Hagen could be too. The Thief Snipes are probably okay. Blue also pretty mid. I like it a little better than the whites. However, it doesn't have any interaction, no removal or counter spells, so it's probably realistically pretty on par there. Black, 1 Sephiroth's Intervention is great. 2 side quests Hunt the Mark's fantastic. 2 Resentful Revelation to dig for our best cards. The Revelations also mill ourselves a little bit to help fuel something like an Evil Reawakened. Swamp Cycler also goes well with Evil Reawakened. It's not a high quantity of cards here, but the quality is up there, so if our red is really good, we might actually be able to do the Rakdos thing here. I'm pretty into the black, despite the lack of quantity again. The quality of these 5 cards, the Hunt the Marks, the Intervention, the Revelation, is so high that I'm very happy to play some filler stuff like a Demon Wall, a Trader, Marlboro, even the Marlboro is really good, actually. Yeah, no, black is just good. It's a little low on quantity of cards, but with a secondary color that's pretty deep, it could play well. And red is not deep at all. If I cut nothing, I don't even have enough black and red cards. Did I have colorless that's playable to fill it out? A Lionheart and an Ultima, I guess? Oh no. Well, that's a shame. One call the mountain chocobo counts as a creature here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 with warriors. So this is a good creature count, actually. Oh, there's self-mill going on here. Good removal. 2 Hunt the Mark, 2 Light of Judgment. Triple Triad literally only good unless you're under absolutely no pressure on the board, and then it gets to start slowly winning you the game. That's the issue that I have with it. There's a lot of other cards that are good when you're under pressure and also start slowly winning you the game. Like even a Marlboro, honestly. Fits that bill. But especially like Hunt the Marks are way better than Triple Triad. There's some awkward filler in here, and our card quality is so low, there's not even, like, anything to splash in to try to add to our playables here. To up our card quality. Oh, hold up. So green's got Vanille, Esper Origin, Chocobo, and 2 Grand Pulse Ochu. Okay, I like that green a lot. Does it have fixing? On Wanderings? That's less than I would want, but that is a way that we can set up a 3-color deck here, realistically. Three, four, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, red had our filleriest stuff. It's probably green, black at the core. That lets us more consistently get the treasure tokens from the Hunt the Marks and the traders to help with the splash as well. Yeah, I think this deck can actually jund them out here. More self-mill with the Esper Origins popping off here, and Vanille, which helps Evil Reawaken be better. What do I have that triggers Fang? 2 7-mana flashback cards, a 4-mana flashback card, and a... Oh, wait, okay. So, there's honestly not that much that triggers Fang consistently, so I probably still shouldn't. But this will be the first deck that I've ever played I actually got to play both Vanille and Fang, so there's the chance to flip into Ragnarok, which is hilarious, so I'm going to take that chance here. Garland would trigger as well. Splash in a Thunder Magic and a Garland. So you probably call the Mountain Chocobo. Some Light of Judgments. No duels for this at all. Not even a Crossroads Village. No, I got 2 Crossroads Village. There's that. Could play a Lionheart, could play an Ultima. Those are both a little filler. I think I'm splashing in Black Waltz. Honestly, am I even splashing in Garland and like call the Mount Chocobo here? Is it just splashing some red removal? 4 cards to cut. If I touch none of the red, I have 2 Haunt the Mark, Sephiroth's Intervention, Chocobo Kick for removal. That still feels a tiny bit low. And this is a deck that, like, the more the merrier on removal spells, because Hunt the Mark is the kind of card that the more removal you play, the better it gets by a lot. And Thunder Magic, we can splash Thunder Magic really easily no matter what, because we just need a single treasure token for that. So I could go turn 4 Trader Thunder Magic. Boop. And there's the thing. The Garland needs double red. The Call the Mountain Chocobo needs double red, because we need a red on board and then also a mountain in the deck. So Thunder Magic is the easiest splash, followed by the Light of Judgments. We actually cut Lionheart at this point, splashing the better removal. This looks like a very reasonable deck. Yeah, I mean, card quality in the sealed pool is not particularly high, but looks like a very serviceable deck we've managed to kind of salvage out of a pile of some poop. Yeah, let's cut one more card here. Wrap up our deck building. Probably one of the Light of Judgments. I still have Thunder Magic, Chocobo Kick, Intervention, Hunt, Light of Judgment. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still kind of want 7. Maybe one of the filler 2-drops. I still have 5 2-mana or less plays that are creatures, plus an early removal spell potentially. Yeah, I should just cut this Chocobo thing. Yeah, this looks very reasonable to me. Obviously, it's mid, but that's the sealed pool that we've opened. 11 black cards, 8 green. Go 7/7 split because our green can find our black. All right, so it looks like we're going to be scrapping a bit here. Our rare quality is quite low in the sealed pool. We have the one particularly good rare, the Esper Origins, and then we have our begrudgingly playable Ultima also in this deck. So we have all of the highest card quality in the sealed pool in this deck by running our 2 playable rares as well as our excellent removal spells like a couple Hunt the Marks and a Sephiroth Intervention. But this deck is going to have some struggles against other sealed pools that just have much higher card quality in terms of having better rares, as well as sealed pools that opened up a little more synergy for potential aggressive curve outs against us. We could have some issues in those matchups, but there's a lot of good stuff going for this deck. We have great card selection, really solid removal here, running 7 different removal spells, and just a little bit of good bombs to try to close out the game. Even these side quests sort of count on that front, even just at the uncommon rarity. Turning into that big 5/6 after you cast a removal spell can put you pretty far ahead. So there's a lot of good ways we could still close out games. You know, turn 1 Saz's Chocobo could be a winning play as well. So just got to cross our fingers here. Certainly hope to get into some pretty lucky matchups with this deck, but I think we've scrounged up a pretty reasonable deck with what we had access to. So we'll see how it plays out for us as we hop into the gameplay. Here we are for game 1 on the play. Do I have any double green or double black cards? I do. I have Side Quest Hunt the Mark needs double black and Marlborough needs double black. So we'll Crossroads Village on black turn 1 just to get the tap land out of the way on the color that we might not actually need 2 sources of because we already have all 3 colors with everything else in this hand. We've drawn the Fang. If we draw the Vanille, we could pop off. So that's always fun. We're playing against green and white from our opponent. Green, white, and blue. They are splashing around for sure. No play on turn 2. We do have one really fun combo that we could potentially draw into. We have the Prisha's Wanderings that can grab whatever land we need out of our deck, put it into play, and put a +1/+1 counter on one of our creatures. If we ever draw that on turn 3 after a turn 2 Demon Wall, we get that just bashing in nice and early, which is fun. Our opponent's just setting up their mana here, waiting to play their big, scary late-game bombs, probably. We're going to hope our 7 removal spell deck, basically the maximum we could be playing in this deck, is going to be enough interaction to deal with whatever scary stuff they open in their sealed pool. There's the Wyvern. 2/1 flyer and a 1/1 on the ground. Very solid card. Evil Reawakened on Demon Wall is actually pretty reasonable here. We get to draw a card and have a big menace threat. Thank you, Fang. Very cool. There's the Hunt the Mark side quest. Solid draw. Don't believe I want to trade Fang into a 1/1 flyer and a 1/1. Not like a horrific trade, but I don't think it's worth the attack here. Oh, we found one of their bomb rares. The Balam Garden does turn into a really, really threatening vehicle. Cruise for 1, which is very easy to activate, and then it's a 5/4 flyer that draws a card every time it swings. So it gets you very, very far ahead in the late game. So we'll want to try to make sure to leave an instant speed piece of removal for that. Up. Because they could activate this during our end step later in the game. Untap and try to instantly crew it and draw a card, and we want to kill it before they draw a card off of it. So we'll hope to have Light of Judgment for that. Oh, or Ultima. Hold the phone now. So if they can't kill our Ultima, then we can use Ultima to shut off the Balam Garden, just turn it into a colorless land with no abilities. They go for the block here, we put some counters on, I think. Which does make us kind of skip the turn. Yeah, I was really expecting this not to happen. Okay, I guess even if I put the counters on, they still get the trade if they do it this way. Which, I think at that point I'm just fine with. I could also Light of Judgment, and then I just win this combat. But I think we just accept that and play an Ultima. Because now I'm killing like their only 2 creatures that matter. And if they're willing to do that, they probably don't have good removal in their hand. Which means Ultima gets to stick around and shut off the Balam Garden. Although they've got 3 towns on board, so... yeah, because they had the land for turn, that is just perfectly timed to get there right before we can deal with it. So I'll have to Light of Judgment it. Since I have to Light of Judgment it... we can't Hunt the Mark here. Not that I would want to kill a 1/1. Shut off their blue. And then start shutting off their green next, I suppose. If Ultima sticks around. Chocobo Racetrack. Are we going to win the game off of a just single resolved Ultima? Because they just didn't open removal? That would be wild. They could have a magic damper here, that'd be sad. No magic damper. Scale of 1 to 10, how dumb is it to cast the Hunt the Mark here? Feels pretty incorrect. Because then I don't have removal if they kill my Ultima and then resolve a big threat of their own. Chocobo Kick also feels wrong, but if I Chocobo Kick, I can attack with Fang as well. I'm going to keep that pressure on. They're down to 6. They did have one removal, so they had airship crash. I don't remember if they crashed anything. Oh, they did, the demon wall. And then I just reanimated it. But the Mark Noah is fine. Force the chump here. Cast the Traitor off of the double mana. Their only shot now is the other Ultima, the board wipe Ultima. I mean, I guess just one removal spell does still buy them time. They shut off our flyer, and then they chump block the creatures on the ground, but by chumping the creatures on the ground, we would flip the 5/6 Indestructible Dragon, try to start winning with that. They find no removal. Technically, Vanat is a removal spell, but summoning 6, so you can't flip it till next turn anyway. Alright, surprising way to start things off there, but guess it works out for us for now. We are 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are on the play for game number 2, and we have that dream start of Saz's Chocobo, which is the kind of play that's like, have removal in the opener or die. Let's see here. Fang into the Evil Reawaken will be pretty nice. I think we want to just play Finn here, though, because then we also have that Thunder Magic ready on turn 3. Oh, wow. Swamp's a great draw. One, two, three, curve out. Another green-blue deck here. There's the Merchant. Chocobo kick with a Death Toucher is pretty clutch. Although an untapped land would have let us just Thunder Magic that anyway. Four mana now, they hold it all up, so probably interaction from our opponent. We're a pretty slow hand, they're down to 4 now. There's a Wanderings to ramp up, sure. There's an argument to just hold up the mana, the Thunder Magic for 4 damage. Because Demon Wall can't attack till it has a counter anyway, which I can't do till I have 6 mana total. I think I'm just holding this mana up here. So I can Thunder Magic during their turn. So stun the Chocobo, we Thunder Magic, and then... Oh. Or we just lethal them. They stun the Death Toucher. That works too. Alright, that is 2-0. Very lucky curve out for us. We do not have that many cheap creatures in the deck, so it is not often we get to be the 1-2-3 curve out aggressor, but that is definitely a way to win in sealed. If you have a really consistent aggressive sealed pool that has, you know, like 3 1-drops and like 5+2 drops and then so on up the curve, you can just go for the curve out, kill your opponent before they get higher in their mana curve, because sealed mana curves are not super consistent most of the time, so you can just get caught by an aggro deck while you're stumbling and just trying to set up your late game like we did to our opponent there. So really lucky to get the curve out with this deck, though. I don't think that's going to happen very often, but certainly did that game, and we are 2-0 heading into game 3. Here we are for game number 3 on the play again. Good interaction with this hand. Try to grind out a long one with this. Get that Ochu down and start getting some free points of chip damage in before we do anything else. This also lets me to delay the decision on the Crossroads Village, If I top deck a swamp or a mountain, then I know what I get to play this tapped as, and Marlboro's basically top decking a swamp. If I don't find another black source, I can swamp cycle this, which means I'm free to Crossroads Village for red towards our Thunder Magic. And speaking of Thunder Magic, our opponent has that or a Lightning Bolt in their hand. Maybe a Fire Magic. Our hand is pretty good against the Fire Magic. That's the card that does damage to all creatures on the board. There's not going to be more creatures on the board for a long time. Land Trader is what we really want to do here. Feels awkward to have to just pick up a land with Revelation, but that's what we want here. Guarantee our turn 4 play. Alright, Thunder Magic it is. Natural Grixis from our opponent. Ooh, an Esper Origins for later. That is very good to curve out like turn 2 and then turn 4. But if you draw it on turn 4, it's better to just wait till like 6 mana. You can play both halves in one turn. It's also better when you have more creatures on board for that chapter 3. It's very good cornered by black mages. Rough. Double side quest. I am 1 mana. 1 mana. From Marlboro or Hunt the Mark without cracking a treasure. And I don't want to Hunt the Mark a wizard. So I guess now I'm just awkwardly playing Esper Origins to hit that land. Evil Reawakened to Marlboro goes pretty hard. Yeah, I'll keep Evil Reawakened as well for a late game play. I think we have plenty of good plays for the near future to where I can afford 2 turns from now just drawing a card that's for much later. Okay, if they make me shuffle my library, then I guess fine. I'll just Swamp Cycle at that point to guarantee that 5th land for next turn. Yeah, now we don't get to do the Evil Reawakened thing, but I need to hit the mana. But since the deck's about to get shuffled anyway, so now we just go land Hunt the Mark. So apparently there's something happening on Arena where if you have 2 of these on board, only one of them flips. That's not how the card reads or is supposed to work, so I'm concerned they'll have changed that, fixed the bug here, and if I play this then they both flip and I lose 1 to the legendary rule. There's literally nothing about the wording on this card that would imply that they wouldn't just both flip. I guess if I go full control mode, I can set it up to make sure that the second one doesn't have 3 treasures left. That's probably the play. Yeah, full control mode and guarantee. The other one doesn't flip. Although, do I even want to play one here when I can just cast a Thunder Magic instead? I probably just want to cast the Thunder Magic, because the Hunt the Mark can kill bigger threats. Play an untapped land in case of a Syncopate. They have counter unless I pay 1 right now, 2 if they sack a treasure. If they sack a treasure, then I have to sack a treasure and I don't get the thing yet, but I think that's fine. because it's unlikely enough. Yeah, because they know I could just pay for it, so they wouldn't want to do that. I guess untapped land makes it so if they try to kill my 5/6, I don't have to sack 2 treasures, I only sack 1. But it's still a bad deal for them if they try to kill it. So I'm going to play the land. By playing the tap land, I've got all my mana up towards like 7 mana Revelation next turn. Or anything expensive like that. Cerberus could allow for a double cast removal spell next turn and then a triple cast the turn after that. But I only have 1 creature on board and it's basically indestructible, so it's not the biggest threat ever. I do draw removal. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They spend 5. And then 4 on Esper Origins. I'll have 2 treasures in the end step. Feels worth it. And I still have a Light of Judgment for later. Alright, I might not draw a card here because I don't care about these forests. I do draw a card. I draw Fang. Good one. We are giving our opponent an opportunity to kill this Yawsmot. Well, I can't give it indestructible, but if they kill that one, I'll just flip the other one and not care about the legend rule. Yeah, no, that's value for me. Little late for our little Chocobo friend. But eh? +2/+2 trampled everybody. I can play Fang and Chocobo or Revelation Chocobo. Not get as much damage in here. It's gotta be worth the Revelation. Demon Wall. Suppose. Guess I could have cracked a treasure to also draw a card off Fang there. There's a lot of little things we can be doing here. Flying Death Touch. I'm at 18 life. Is 2 damage per spell. Cashing my damage output here. It's a 2-turn mana skill. Well, there's the removal for that. And I'm glad I still have removal for Primal Odin. Yeah, 1 card in hand against a 2/3 and a 5/6 indestructible. Just land. Sephiroth's Intervention's a sick one. They go down to 1. Reno and Rude is not enough. They remain dead on board. Send our lethal on board here. And there's the concession. I could alternatively just main phase Sephiroth's Intervention, the Reno and Rude to play around removal from our opponent. If they had instant speed removal, they could survive there a little bit. If it's Sephiroth's Intervention specifically that gains them life. But because they'd have to shoot the indestructible creature, it'd still be a really losing spot. Yeah, I think I could have played that game out better. The biggest turn that we could have done differently was definitely the... There was a turn I could have sacked a treasure to play Fang before I recast Revelation. I think I should have done that and drawn the extra card there. I think it was worth dipping into my treasure stash a bit for that, but still, everything went really, really well and quite synergistically that game, so we're 3-0 heading into Game 4. Game 4. This is a good hand. Definitely need Esper Origins to be surveilling into mana, though. Way more black sources than red sources in this deck. And I can Swamp Cycle this Marlboro. I'm actually going to go red here still, because I have a red spell in the hand already. Yeah, and then there's the black source off the top. Wanderings and a Chocobo. Swamp Wanderings next turn. I think it's too greedy to keep Chocobo on top. Just like play a Chocobo and Swamp Cycle a Marlboro. Well, that is 4 mana. Play Chocobo, Swamp Cycle Marlboro, and that guarantees the 4th mana to flashback Esper Origins the turn after that. Which then puts the 5th land on top. You know what? Let's do it. When you put it that way. Hello, Sabotender. That's going to be shooting my face for a while. I'm a little tempted to just play Finn. Oh, I don't have double green anyway. Never mind. I was going to say I'm a little tempted to just play Finn, but I think I should still just Swamp Cycle Marlboro and not miss a land drop here. So it might be a good thing Arena didn't give me the choice. It might be a good thing I didn't have double green here. Guess there's a world in which if I had another green, it actually would be pretty reasonable to play Finn, because that also lets me get Fang down before I flashback and trigger Fang for another draw. Yeah, that actually seems real enough. Plus, Esper Origins gets better the wider my board is, that I might not do it next turn. Just play Fang. Chocobo kicks the draw. Play Chocobo Kick and Finn. Or just Fang. If I play Chocobo Kick and Finn, though, then I only have 3 lands on board next turn, and I play the 4th. So I'm soaking up some mana for that. I mean, I guess this is giving me 2 mana as well, which helps me double spell with these later. I'm just missing 1 extra draw to Esper Origins right now. But then the Esper Origins gets the draw trigger off of casting it. This is quite the dilemma. I'm going to get greedy with it. We have 2 2/3s up to be blocking with, so we shouldn't be under much pressure. As they just go 4-drop, hit me for 2 with Sahagin here. Yeah. Eject works. Hit me for 2 with Sahagin. Eject is pretty good against +1/+1 counters as well, like those on Sus's Chocobo. Alright, well here's the turn. Get a bunch of card draw here. If we can make this game go long, we can get tons of value off of shenanigans like this. Oh no, 2 non-permanent cards? If the third card isn't a permanent, a miss on Esper Origins would be depressing. Alright, third card was a permanent. Oh my god, it's Vanille. How does the trigger work? Beginning of your first main phase, if they're both still on board, you spend 5 mana and flip them. Okay. Uh-oh. Terra. So I can cast Vanille and Chocobo Kick this turn. I'm getting 2 extra mana as well off of the summon. So I can also play Finn. There's just a maximum pop-off right now. It's kind of crazy. Ooh, Evil Reawakened too. Evil Reawakened draws me another card, but, oh, Evil, okay, never mind. I was gonna say I don't really have anything for it, and then I saw Marlboro in there. It's farther from the Fanil Fang shenanigans, though. I have 8 mana to play around with this turn. I feel like the most efficient way to use that is Vanille Finn and Chocobo Kick. Rather this get randomly removal spelled than anybody else, because it's about to die anyway. Alright, it doesn't get removal spelled, our removal resolves. So Finn and Vanille get played this turn. They can double block here and eat it. I would rather just be +2/+2 trampling the whole board, I think. I should have played Vanille first to play around Syncopate. A lot of little sequencing errors here. I like Marlboro and Grave for Evil Reawakened, but by the time I cast Evil Reawakened, I probably will have a better card in Grave. Right, like even a Demon Wall is pretty great. Because it comes with the counters then. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the Marlboro. And then we pass. 5 mana flip, 7/6 Vigilance Menace, Trample, Reach, Haste. When it dies, destroy a permanent and return a permanent from your grave to the battlefield. Okay, interesting. It's probably not worth flipping them next turn because they're both going to have +2/+2 trample, and then if I put them together, they don't have it anymore. Suplex is fine. So they stopped the Ragnarok thing. That's okay. It's, you know, for content purposes, it's a little sad, but for winning Magic games purposes, that is still good value for us. They both did some work individually here. Okay, no land for turn. 6 mana. Revelation, hit an untapped land. I go land and still have Light of Judgment up, and if I don't, I still have Intervention up here. Well, we're getting an untapped land this turn. That's for sure. Take 13? Okay. Probably have to kill this Cerberus then. They're planning on doing something insane. Yeah, let's make sure whatever crazy plan they have is not gonna pop off. So no double spell next turn. That feels like the scariest thing. Because if I like Evil Reawakened and get this Demon Wall or something, and then they just double removal spell, that's pretty bad for me. So let's just shut off the Cerberus. Okay. Yeah, they could have been planning on like a double Choco Comet or something really weird. I don't know. No land for turn again. If I make them discard the last card in their hand, how far ahead are we on board? Pretty far ahead. Let's just cast them all, bro. Right? I could Swamp Cycle it for this Chocobo and then reanimate it, but I think it's better to just hard cast it. the Death Toucher. Trade into one of the 2/2s, I guess. 13 life to 3 life. We want to whittle down blockers. I'm fine with that. They block with Prompto, and the Sabotender is their best block. Kill the Sabotender and stop the ping damage. Yeah, Finn was our only creature that isn't instant lethal if it connects, so by getting rid of one of their chump blockers, we even the amount of creatures on board to where one removal spell is lethal if they miss on this draw step. So that did play out really well. Wow, alright, well, we've been having some really, really good luck in the gameplay to make up for maybe some slightly poorer luck within the sealed pool itself, but man, 4-0 here. That is a very positive record wherever things go from here. And we're getting most of our entry fee back out of this run. Feels great. Here we are on the draw for game 5. It's a reasonable hand here. World map, turn 1 from our opponent. Here is our Chocobo. Correction, it's Saz's Chocobo, not ours. Vanille's a great draw for this hand. That makes me very free to Swamp Cycle the Marlboro to make sure I keep hitting land drops, which will be very important. Kind of want to just play the Ochu here and just stop some early damage from this cat. That's another card that I'm really happy to just trade off with a Vanille in the hand. Blue, black, and white from our opponent. Judge, Magister, Gabranth. That makes the trade a lot worse. But they don't go for the trade regardless. Swamp Cycle or play Finn. If I don't Swamp Cycle this turn, I have no guarantee I'm playing Vanille next turn. But Finn with another Death Toucher out is pretty funny. Hit for 3, they blow up Finn, hit for 4. Getting close to a side quest though. Once I cast the side quest, I can also Thunder Magic. I feel like this hand is actually in a position I can afford to be aggressive here. Blitzball. That's pretty good. That's the draw too, because they've got the Menace Legendary on their board. But they can also use it for fixing and ramp here instead. Depends on what's in their hand. Probably just draw 2, put a counter on the Judge. No, keep it for mana. Okay. No Vanille this turn. But there's a red source for Thunder Magic even if I don't side quest, and the Swamp Cycle of Marlboro guarantees the upcoming side quest getting cast next turn. Yeah, let's get some damage and 4 poison on our opponent. I guess unless they use the cat here. 4 damage crackback. Yeah, we're jamming. Okay, we got a cat out of the way. Plane Cycle a Moogle. Okay, so they are ramping into a scary expensive card of their own. For blue, white, and black, you don't expect things to go too majorly high up usually. So it's got to be something big from our opponent. Could be the 7 mana make 4 2/2s. That would be pretty dang bad for me. Summon Leviathan's also pretty bad for me. But it's not the end of the world. I have no tokens on board or anything. Sure. The ward means I don't get to blow it up here, but it sacks itself after 1 attack. Yeah, it's ward 2. So they hit me for 6 and draw 1, and then sack it next turn. So they can draw another 2 off the Blitzball as well. Yikes. Yeah, ward 2 is going really hard here, actually. I could trade my Death Toucher in it to stop the draw 2. Then they'll just get the draw 2 later off of the Judge. Hitting. Kill the Judge with Thunder Magic. Okay. We're on team anti-Blitzball at this rate. Sorry, Sausage Chocobo. Alright, just gonna removal spell the Death Toucher. Alright. Nothing we can do about that. That did force them to tap out a black here, which is actually really good. Because now the Judge Magister doesn't get a counter off the Blitzball. So they're not Blitzballing. Sick. Now they just lose Leviathan and have no creatures left next turn. I have 2 removal spells. Vanilla Marlborough to hand. Marlborough looks reasonable at this point. Just draw 1 more land and we're there. Removal spell, Vanille, you got it. 1 card in their hand. Is it a counterspell for Marlborough? Or is it gone? Removal spell for Marlborough. Alright, they're out of cards and we have 4 to play around with. Feeling pretty favored here. Land off the top. There's land off the top for us. That's the one issue, is we're not actually killing them very fast because our only creature is this Chocobo. Sealed is going to give me an aneurysm. We literally can't beat that with anything in our whole deck. Stops the 2/2s from attacking. Not that it matters, it's 12 2/2s. Here we are for game 6 on the draw. We have a pretty powerful hand here. Cheap interaction, flipped Esper Origins soon enough. There's even a cheap little Death Toucher to hold them back. Playing against a blue-white deck. Golbez starts things off from our opponent. Just an annoying little 1/4 for now. Gaining a bunch of life here early. We'll just offer the trade and get a little bit of damage in. Another black source over anything else. Just mill all this. Demon Wall's a fine draw. I could go Demon Wall, hold up Thunder Magic. But I'm looking for better spells here. Well, turn 4 is definitely killing Vial Smasher. It shoots me for each spell they cast equal to its mana value. Like, the aggro curve-outs you can have with Vial Smasher are absolutely absurd. Yeah, like, kill your blocker and deal 3 to your face, and then 2 with the creature itself. Vial Smasher is busted. Down to 15. That is not the next black source I have been digging to. And I surveilled everything into the grave, so we've dug as far as possible towards another black source here. If Ultima sticks around, it actually looks pretty good against their mana base right now. I guess the amount of non-basics they have does mean that even if I shut like a starting town off, they'll have all 3 of their colors. Even if I shut Sharlayan off, they'll have all 3 of their colors. So that's not insane. Lunatic Pandora for once they have 6 mana, plus a Surveil off the Golbez, keep it on top. Man. What happens if I Vanille and I don't hit a swamp here? Just pick up a Demon Wall. Esper Origin, don't hit a swamp. I still have a 4/4 and draw a card. If I Ultimate, they just have 1 removal spell, like nothing happens. Whereas at least with Esper Origins, unless it's specifically a counter spell, I draw a card. Then I have extra mana next turn. It's a counter spell, it doesn't matter what I play here. Alright, we hit the swamp, and then Marlborough's a good draw if we're hitting a swamp off top. Sick. Yeah, if they throw a removal spell at this, it's a pretty good deal. Gained our 4, drew a card, got rid of a removal spell. Evil reawakened on Vial Smasher. Yeah. Yeah, I'm certainly happy to have my my double black here. This means no creature this turn. Yeah, 1 mana off. So chapter 3 of this summon isn't going to end up doing anything. But I think it's still worth it to just kill this before I get pinged at all. They could blow up my side quest with this Lunatic Pandora, but that's a very bad deal for them. Blow up my Marlborough with it. Yeah, we'll just play stuff with good enter effects. They didn't have counters earlier, so unless they drew into them. The Marlborough ETB is great, because we just play it, we get the great ETB, they blow it up with Lunatic Pandora, but that's a trade in our favor by a little bit. So we got rid of a card in their hand and a removal spell off the board. Then I can Vanille back a Marlborough. The mills were really good too. Jeez. I think I need to Revelation here. Taking 1 damage a turn. White Mage's Staff. Get that Surveil one. They have 1 card left in their hand. Five, 6, 7. This is mana 8. Revelation plus Ultima here. Hope they're out of removal. Then next turn I have Vanille plus Recast Marlborough in the same turn. I guess if I hit another land. Summon Leviathan, sure. Save my Ochu, thank you. We're gonna draw 1 card off this. That's fine. Did hit a land, so I can go Vanille Marlborough. That feels worth. Discard Golbez. Last card in their hand is very good then. Gain 1, put me to 7. Then sack Leviathan next turn. Ninja's Blades. That's threatening. Make sure we keep blockers up for that. I'm about to play infinite creatures here. So go team go. They're at 11. 7 damage is a lot right now. Take the trade, I get a treasure off of the Hunt the Mark. You know what I could do? I could just flip this thing by playing Namazu Trader. I guess not flip it, but I get close. 2 treasures. I'm at 7. I'm gonna go just mega safe. Let's just go double Ochu. These are also both one-shot lethal. If I attack all and one of them gets through, I just activate whichever gets through. Blitzball, 1 card in hand. Ahriman is not enough. Alright, attack all for lethal. So I'll get some extra mana. Five and 1. We are in the money with this deck. We are leaving this event with more gems than we paid to enter by a pretty decent margin. I think we're up like 2,000 something gems. We'll double check here. And we're only 1 win away from leaving with at least 1 play booster box. Yeah, we are up 2,800 gems and 24 packs. So that's some good value here if we can wrap this up. So see how it plays out for us heading into round number 7. Here we are for game number 7. This is the one for all the marbles here. The winner of this game gets a play booster box of Final Fantasy. But even if we lose this game, we are leaving this event with more gems than we spent to enter. So solid, solid stuff no matter what. Wanderings is a really solid draw here. A 2/4 Death Touch is a really good blocker, and helps us ramp into our side quest and get that rolling. I'm not going to trade 1 damage to our opponent for 2 to us. I mean, I guess I could hit for 2 if I attack and also Wanderings, but I'm interested in playing the long game right now. Let's get another green. Got a bunch of black mana here. Revelation or Trader right now? We play Trader here. I'm not going to hold up Finn just in case they removal spell Trader. If they spend a removal spell on Trader, they have earned that 2 damage. I'll trade 2 damage to them for 2 to us here. If they have removal. Overkill Finn instead of the Trader. Fine by me. Probably means some big green creatures coming up from our opponent that require them to... or require us to have a Death Toucher to trade into them. Traveling Chocobo. We found our removal target. Unfortunately, it's one of those great bomb rares that kind of draws you a card the second you play it. And it did draw them a card, because they had a land on top. If they didn't have a land on top there, we could have killed it without them even drawing a card. That would have been really nice. But what you gonna do? 2 out of 3 treasures towards the side quest now. There's a Scorpion Sentinel. Pretty bad Evil Reawaken targets right now. I have the mana to cast it post-Revelation if we find a good one. It's pretty bad draws. Better to just play a 3/5 Death Touch right now than play an Ochu. And I don't have an Evil Reawaken later, but it's not like it's doing a lot at all right now. And it would be very, very much later that it would matter. Yeah, let's be mana efficient and get a solid creature out. Recasting Revelation next turn. Town Greeter. No 4. Goodbye, Genova. Please do not have an Evil Reawaken of your own, because Evil Reawakened on Genova is disgusting. It's a swamp. And if they have any graveyard recursion for Genova, Genova is a terrifying bomb. I hold up the Ochu mana here. Malboro is pretty reasonable. Demon Wall's not terrible either if I stay flooded, but I like Malboro for just immediate impact. Playing another Death Toucher for blocks. Let's sneak in a few points here. Although again, it's got a really relevant activated ability. So if I wanted to keep it around, if I sink a ton of mana into it, it plays better than a 1/1. Blitzball. Land for turn. Malboro their hand here. Feels like Malboro pass. Swamp, they might be flooded there. Exile the Primal Odin. Alright, that is very good for us. Is that a Genova and a Primal Odin over there? Trading off during our turn is an incredible deal, so I'm definitely attacking with Marlborough. Ochu's basically a 6/6 now, if I just don't hold up the Thunder Magic, so let's send both. Try to close out this game faster. No blocks. Will probably be instant speed removal on Ochu, but putting them to 2 feels worth it. It is not. We get to legitimately put them to 2. And there's the concession from our opponent. That's 6-1, guaranteed at least 1 play booster box of Final Fantasy out of this Arena Direct. That feels good. If this were any other set, then whatever happens from here, I would stop right now. I've got some physical cards, but it's Final Fantasy. I would like to get more cards, so... I mean, I wouldn't stop until I play the last round of Magic, of course, but after that, I wouldn't care about getting more boxes. But don't worry, I'll be playing more of this Arena Direct, at least 7 of these runs. So, yeah, really, really surprising run here. I did not love the sealed pool, but the deck itself has worked really, really well. We've got pretty lucky, dodging some great rares. Our opponents have milled them and exiled them a lot, which helped out. Our only loss was Knights of the Round in a game that we would have won against almost any other card in the whole set. We were so far ahead there, and then, you know, that one card puts them 12 cards ahead because all the 12 2/2s. So pretty brutal loss there, but really, really great wins. So that kind of balances out the luck. Just, yeah, again, how lucky it is to get at least 6 wins with this deck. We kind of earned just getting majorly bombed out for that one loss there, but it is not the end of this run yet. We have one final game of Magic, the last game of Magic here, win or lose. Whatever happens, I'll be fine with it. But I would be really happy to get a couple Final Fantasy play booster boxes here. So I'll play my hardest here and hope we draw pretty well, dodge any scary decks from our opponents, and maybe get one last win here as we head into the final battle. Final game of Magic for today, no matter what. All right, here we are on the play. Pretty lucky for this final game of Magic. We also have all 3 of our colors, and that Esper Origins are one great rare in the opener. It's a pretty great start by this deck's standards, but there could be plenty scarier stuff on the opponent's side of the board, we'll see. So Demon Wall does not do anything unless I top deck Wanderings. So I'd rather just start with the Origins here. I like both of these mills. We're trying to find a second black mana. I already have the 4 mana in hand I need to flashback the Origins, and milling a flashback card is reasonable. I've got a turn 2 play with Demon Wall instead of Revelation anyway. Yeah, mill both and then play Demon Wall next turn. Sabbath Tender, perfect. They do go for a play that makes me need the blocker out, so here is the blocker. Queen Braun. Really, really need blockers for that. Cannot let that connect once, so it's time to play the 4/4 and draw a card. Find removal off of it too, the side quest, that's great. The Death Toucher isn't bad either, but I do want to naturally draw some more lands, so I think mill towards mana here is kind of a big deal. I got 5 drops and a 6 drop in hand if I don't Swamp Cycle this Marlborough. Yeah, the mana is incredibly important with this side quest as well. Yeah, we have to mill that and hope there's a land underneath. If there isn't, I can Swamp Cycle and play a Revelation that turn. Cornered by black mages. Guess I'm getting the double green off of the Esper. I need that double green. I need to, because then I can Swamp Cycle for free. And then play the swamp, play the side quest. Yeah, beautiful. That's just for sure the play, right? Stop the queen from doing anything. Yeah. The alternative line is Ultima. If they don't have removal for Ultima while they're stuck on mana, you're shutting off a mountain's big. But I think we need to shut off the Queen. I'm just going to hold this up to stop damage from a Rakdos deck. Play the long game here, especially while they're stuck on mana. Just preventing 4 damage instead of dealing... Or sorry, preventing 2 damage instead of dealing 4. There's Vaughn. Thunder Magic's very good against that. Kind of wanted a land here. Still, because then I could Thunder Magic and Ultima. I could still do it, but I lose the treasure for the side quest. I think I have to. I mean, I lose 1 and then I get it back, but you know what I mean. Trying to work our way towards 3 treasures. So instead of having 2 in the end step, we just have 1 here. Get rid of a red source or a blue source off the attack. Unless they have their removal for Ultima. Well, that's very good for our opponent. Even if we kill it immediately, they're up a card off the sack. Those are the premium tier rares, the ones that draw you a card the second you play them as well. Evil Reawakened for Marlborough. That's pretty legit. But we need to kill Sephiroth. Goodbye, red. They look deeper into red than blue, but it could just be because they had red mana and not blue mana. Right, they might start casting 2 mana blue spells, and then it's like, oh, well, never mind. Okay, they're definitely deeper on red than blue. There's a second mountain. Basics are more likely to be in your main color than non-basics. Non-basics could definitely be just like the splashy little stuff. Intervention on Ultima. Tragedy. I could Evil Reawaken Ultima and try to mess with their mana more, but they've been hitting enough lands here now. There's no haste on it. Now that I draw Fang. Kind of want to wait on this Evil Reawakened again. Yeah, I'll have a 2-3 against the 2-1. I take no damage next turn. Chuckbow's not good this late. Genuinely, Forest might just be the best pick. Getting towards 7 mana Revelation without using treasures. This is basically just a land as well, and I already have all the colors. Chuckbow's an 0-1 here, but I wouldn't play this turn. Weird. Yeah, we're gonna gear up for the long game here. Get the Fang out before I start flashing everything back and reanimating things and all the card draw in the world. Sorceress's Schemes. Insanely good card with any removal. It's very, very good and sealed. They just get to flashback the Schemes and use it on Marlborough if I play Marlborough here. But they also get to use it on the Indestructible Dragon if I play that. At least Marlborough gets an ETB trigger. Now a 1-mana 0-1 would be relevant, so that's awkward. Just to sacrifice it. Red, 1, 2, 3, 4. They do need to top deck another land. They missed land drops early, so if they don't top deck another land here, they can't Schemes cornered by black mages. Because they need the 5 for the Schemes and then double black for the cornered by mages. They get 1 red back, but again, they still need 2 lands untapped after the 5. I mean, I don't have a better line. I'm not shooting a Sabatender. Hit the Black Mage, get rid of some lands and a Heck dies. Speaking of heck dies, I guess I hold on to the swamp then. Because they could also have Marlboro in there. No basic, no basic, no basic. No basic off the top one time. Ultimisia, you're not a basic. You are perfect for me. Removal spell, flip my dragon. Cool. I could do that post-combat, but they were not blocking regardless. Goodbye, swamp. Oh, Vanille! I could have Vanilled and picked up a Fang, but they exiled her with Marlboro. Tragedy! Double block, kill Marlboro, and then they try to corner. So we don't allow that. I have 12 cards left. I do need to not mill out. Okay, what do we find? Revelation. It's gonna give us better attacks soon. I guess if they try the double block right now, I just cast this and then don't have indestructible. It's fine. Because their best removal is still like cornered by black mages. That's their only cheap enough removal to play schemes and recast at the same time, which gets around indestructible anyway. Oh god. I don't have double blue yet, but a 6/7 blocker. I have another side quest, Hunt the Mark, as my out. I might mill out here. That's like all I have left. Yeah, the exile on Vanille was brutal. This is bad. It's the right order. I guess I have one more Ochu. I have one more Ochu, 2 traders, and a Finn. Ochu's a win condition still. Ochu would be like probably a 10-10 or something when it attacks. They did hit a land here, so they can corner me. Sorceress's Schemes, corner. We keep Yasmat, because I'm gonna get a treasure. And then we kill Ultimisia and have the treasure up. If I keep Marlboro, it kills them 1 turn faster, but the indestructible's huge. For against anything but cornered by black mages. I guess treachery would work too. Yeah, we need them to not have a bunch more removal in this deck. So here's the treasure for indestructible on Yasmat. No chump in case of Vayne's treachery later. Four cards left. One of these is an Ochu as our biggest draw now. It's an Ochu, 2 traders, and 1 land. that's good here. Fight on for 2 creatures back to hand. Suplex the Death Toucher. If I sack it in response, I'm allowing instant speed 2 mana removal from our opponent to kill Yasmat. But what instant speed 2 mana removal is going to kill a 6 toughness card? I think I sacked this for more cards in grave for Ochu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's already way over 7. Yeah, just let it happen. Actually, I have to crack a treasure on this side quest to stop the legend rule from getting me here. I have heard that sometimes it works differently on Arena, but the way the card is worded, it's supposed to flip if you have 3, even if you have another copy on board. So we don't want the flip right now. Ifrit, discard a card, draw a card. What is their hand here if they're not playing Ultimecia? Oh, Ultimecia is only 5 toughness naturally, never mind. I thought she was 6 toughness because of how big she was when they reanimated her, but she's actually not big enough for Yasmat yet. Ochu, Ochu, Ochu. Ah, at least it's not the land. At least it's not the land. Oh my god, this game's gonna be close. Surveil 2, I can reorder it. I can reorder it to have the right card on top, to Ochu first. Make sure the land is the bottom card. Oh, man. Ochu on top. 12, it's a 13-13. This makes sense. I would expect the chump with Ifrit, but might play a bold here. Whoa, okay. I'm a pretty big fan of this. As the line. That's 2 treasures still. I should have held up double black. I guess I'd have to sack 1 treasure to activate it twice anyway, so just the treasure I sack can just be the black mana. Ancient Copper Dragon. Attack with all 3. I don't have reach. Dude, really? They're gonna be at literally 1? Because my dragon doesn't fly. Oh. What can you do? We would have won if Ochu was above these traders. Because they can't not block the Ochu, and anything that blocks it mega dies. Ah. If just any removal was left. God, that's such a bummer. 1 damage. Probably could have found 1 damage somewhere earlier if we played a little more aggressively and less safe. So wild. Lose with my non-flying dragon on this board. All right. Okay, I guess we would have lost earlier. They probably had a Fatal Push stuck in their hand then. And these were all too big for Fatal Push. And they top-decked gold in the end game. So they hit Ancient Copper Dragon and Intervention as their last two draws. If they had Intervention earlier, they would have cast it. So Fatal Push must have been stuck in their hand for a while. And then they just hit the Intervention now. Jesus. Alright, well, we won one play booster box of Final Fantasy, which is still, I think, an incredible record considering the sealed pool we got here. I think this is the best color pair we could have gone for, the green-black. Just good stuff, really. Some self-mill synergy between Vanille and Esper Origins, both milling some cards to fuel our Evil Reawakened and our potential Fang card draw. Fang did draw some cards on occasion when we cast an Evil Reawakened or recast some Resentful Revelations. Recasting Esper Origins is a really cheap way to trigger Fang, so Fang overperformed in this deck. Most decks, Fang's really bad, but we actually got some good triggers off of her here today. The Hunt the Marks were just the MVPs, the best cards in their whole deck, the big reason I really wanted to play Black, and they really showed off how powerful they are and why you do want to play those really highly. Sephiroth's Intervention, also incredible. Double Revelation, fantastic. Really, really high quality in our black. And then green was primarily just we get Esper Origins and Vanille. But we got a little bit of work done by some turn 1 Saz's Chocobos, as that card tends to do, and some nice cheap Death Touchers to keep us alive for a while. And those Ochus did double as threatening win conditions in the late game, so everything in the deck overperformed a little bit. We were scrapping with this sealed pool, and again, I think just the quality of the rares as well as the synergy and stuff in the sealed pool in general, I think 6-2 is a really, really good record for it. I would say is like about as high as we could hope, but we were incredibly close in both of our losses. So I think it's possible this deck could have gone 7-1. Maybe if we found another point of damage earlier in that game, that would have been the 7th win there. And then in our first loss, if our opponent just didn't draw a make 12 2/2s card, we could have won that game pretty handily. So could have maybe been a 7-win run, but again, 6 wins is still really, really good for this deck. I will absolutely take it, and I will be very happy to receive my blank Final Fantasy Play Booster box in the mail in the future. That's a nice visual glitch to end off the video. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.